Hi, Robin with Oxy-Dry, and this is Jesse James. Jesse, where you going? Oh, he doesn't want to get filmed, I guess. Anyway, so today, this is actually my mudroom, and it's well used. This is our garage. This is the door we use coming in and out. Obviously, the back door plus the doggy door is right here, and there's garden and doggies go running out there and back and forth, and this really gets a real beating. But fortunately, it's the right color. It hides the dirt very well. And of course, I do clean it from time to time. And we're going to do it today. And I decided that this was a really good opportunity to show you guys something, which I don't know if I've ever shown this before. Okay. Yes, I have many. This is an AstroTurf pad, and I bought this quite a few years ago. I very rarely used it. Occasionally, I would pull it out. I actually think I had this before I started using fiber pads, and then once I got the fiber pads, it was kind of it became quite redundant, really. However, this I bought it at a janitorial supply store in my area, and I have seen them for sale on various websites over the years. I don't know who exactly is selling it now. I'm sorry, I didn't. I don't know. But anyway, it's 100% AstroTurf. And I think the intention of this was primarily to be used for scrubbing for tile and grout, and it works really well for that, whether it's under a rotary or under an OP. And it occurred to me, I was recently I picked up the turn that off for a minute. Last year, I kind of rediscovered these pads here, which have the AstroTurf green stripes here. And I actually used to use these many years ago, and in fact, I used them a lot over probably about 15 years or so ago. And then I kind of went away from them, and I kind of forgot about them, and rediscovered them again last year, as it were. And I find they work really, really well under the rotary, particularly the other version which I have, which is the this is the rayon. So this is rayon. This is a blend of synthetic. I'm not sure if it's nylon and polyester or what it is exactly, but I find these really work very well under the rotary. This is a polypropylene fiber yarn here. This is AstroTurf here. So there's a difference, and I find in testing I've compared the two, and I think this one will drop up soil more effectively than this, but I think that this works really quite well, even absorbing when it's under an OP. It has a different movement on the carpet. So over the years, I actually used to use the two-way pads as my primary pad when doing commercial carpet with my OP machine, because I found that unless the carpet was really grubby, this would work really well, actually. And they last a really good long time. So anyway, regardless of which pads you choose, it's great to have all these different options. We're not, stuck with one pad only. We have many different choices. But anyway, subject at hand. I watched a video with one of the guys on the set Facebook page, Steve Capra, I guess, and he was using one of these pads underneath his Trinity, and he was really liking it because it was really effectively lifting the pile, and it obviously removed a lot of soil because you could see how dirty it got. So, and I thought, oh, wait a minute, what about this pad? You see, the problem, or drawback, I guess you could say, of the OP machines is there aren't really too many options for putting a brush. I don't think there's any options for a brush that goes under an OP machine. But this AstroTurf on these pads gives you an agitation that you wouldn't get otherwise. You're just kind of, otherwise you have the different pads that you can choose from, but you don't have a brush. And then I remembered, wait a minute, what about this thing? This is 100% AstroTurf. So let's give it a try. I've got my Orbitec OP machine right here. We're going to use that, and we're going to run it over the carpet here, and we'll see what happens. I'm curious. I've never used it underneath my OP, I don't think. This is actually, by the way, for you guys who don't know, this is my laundry room. These two machines are just used just for my pads. We have another washer and dryer that is just for our clothing. So these two machines I bought years ago just to wash my pads, so I don't have to go to a laundromat. And they worked perfectly well. And in case you're wondering what this is, that's where I spilt some stabilized CO2 at a very high concentration. I can't remember what it was, but it was a lot. And it bleached it out. And often I'm mixing it right up here, and I end up with it. Some of the stabilized CO2 will end up dropping onto the carpet. And then look at that. See, it does bleach. If you use it too strong, it will bleach. So you got to remember that. Be careful. Okay, so it's gonna feel that. Oh, that's pretty wet. Yeah. This is Omega Citrus in here. The Orbitec has the same orbital motion as a Vibe, or an Orbot, or a Challenger, or an Auric. It has the exact same orbital movement. So, by the way, the carpet here is, I guess it's about almost 10 years old, I think, and it's supposed to be that's what it's supposed to look like, with this sort of a texture pattern on it there, and you can see it's really crushed down. There's no underpad under here. I just laid it on top of some linoleum actually, and so it's serving its purpose well, which is just to basically act as a doormat, and it hides the dirt well, but it's really beat, but it's looking actually not bad, really, because it hides the dirt well, I guess. So anyway, let's see what happens. Oh my, look at that. That is working really well. Interesting. Very interesting. It kind of wants to move. It's not. I think it would feel better if I put a glider under it, I think, but it's all right. But it sure is lifting that pile very well, actually. I use this machine. The last time I used this machine was for a wood floor that I did, and it worked really nice. It's just a nice machine, really solid feeling machine. Okay. Well, my impression of the AstroTurf pad is that it really lifts the pile. That's nice. Let's have a look at it. So the I'm thinking AstroTurf, it isn't really that aggressive. It's not really very stiff. Must be dogs going by outside. Okay, that's fairly wet, but I'm going to spray the pad because I thought, well, what's all the noise, Jesse? We'll give that a good spray. And yeah, way years back, I used to use, as I said, these pads underneath my Orbitec CX17. I don't think I've ever used them under this particular machine, but let's give it a try. One thing to bear in mind if you're using these types of pads under your OP machine is that they are thicker and they are heavier. And one of the things that I did conclude about it is that it will put more strain and stress on your machine. You'll end up with a little more vibration, and it's going to be harder on your bearing. Actually, that's one of the reasons why I ended up using these pads more under the Orbitec when doing commercial work, because they run very smoothly, and it's much easier on the machine, and they'll work fine as long as the carpet isn't too soiled. They will clean just fine. So let's give this a try. Oh, it actually feels fine. Mostly fine. Well, that's all right. I can feel the difference though. It's not drastic, but I can feel that it's putting up a little more resistance to moving. Partly because I think because the pad is so thick that some of the oscillation is being absorbed by the pad itself. Jesse, stop barking. No. I think there's doggies going by outside, and he sees them, and they go by this way and go down the side over here, and then he wants to go in the backyard, and oh, there's a bird out there. Oh boy. That'll freak him out. If you knew that. Yeah, there's some quail out there. Anyway, we won't let them know this time. Anyway, yeah, this is working just fine, and you can see it's lifting the pile. Yeah, this is great. Okay, now I'll take a look and see what the pad looks like. You can see I've put the velcro pad driver on here. It used to have the tufted one, but I prefer the velcro one usually. Now you'll see that what happens is you end up getting this this effect happening on this with the OP machine with these type of pads. And that's interesting because I don't get that effect with this pad. So that's kind of interesting. I'm not sure why that is. Maybe because of the polyester. Oh, I guess he saw the bird. He doesn't like birds in his backyard. Anyway, so so we'll just throw that in there for now. So now we're going to go to the two-way pad. I'm going to make it a little bit damp there. Okay. And in case you're wondering why I don't use this machine for residential, I have occasionally put it in my van and gone and used it a few times. And the reason I don't is because I don't think it cleans as well for residential carpeting. I don't like the orbital machines on the thicker carpets. I think that a lot of the motion of the orbit is translated or transferred into the yarn, moving back and forth, rather than the strictly the pad moving on the carpet. And I think that the OP motion is more efficient and effective on a low pile carpet than on a high pile carpet, which is why in the past when I've used OP machines in residential, I found that compared to the rotary, I was able to get faster and more efficient performance using the rotary than I would using the OP machines. And I've got a few of them. That's just been my experience. Plus, there's other reasons as well, but I mean, this is a great machine. And if I had to, I would certainly go and use it. And it's nice to use because you don't have to, there's no weight on your hands because it, you know, the handle locks in place and everything, and it's a very nice machine. But anyway, that's been my experience and my thoughts. So I'm not saying there's a right way and a wrong way. I'm just saying that that's my take on it. Okay. Now, I'll put that there for a sec. And of course, now we're wondering, what shall we use? I'm not going to use an Ironman. And the reason I'm not going to use an Ironman is because I don't like clogging up the velcro. Because the cotton will tend to quite quickly clog up the velcro, and then you end up with the pad driver just not holding well enough. So we're going to use that's a Super Zorb, which is I guess it's a blend of, I think, cotton and polyester, I believe. But anyway, it doesn't clog up the velcro, and that is actually the pad that is intended to be used with this particular pad driver. Or microfiber. You could use 100% microfiber, which I also have, but I thought, oh, let's give this a try. Let's just see if this will visibly remove more from this carpet now that I've done. Okay, I did this, and then I did the this one, which is the Astro Turf, and this is a synthetic blend. You can see that it, you know, it has definitely absorbed oil and soil and whatever. And then I used the two-way. You can see that's pretty dingy, actually. I'll put that over there as well. And let's turn it on. Now this pad works very well underneath this machine. So basically this machine here, again, it's got the same orbit as the Vibe, the Orbot, the Challenger, or the Auric. It's kind of like an Auric on steroids. And it's much easier to use as far as moving it back and forth than, say, an Auric, or the Challenger. Because it is a wheels down machine. I've done a few videos showing the Challenger, which I bought not that long ago, and this machine is definitely a much more comfortable machine to use, definitely. And it has just a much more solid feel to it. At least that's my impression of it. So let's see what we can see here. And the answer is, yeah, definitely picked up something. Well, this was already, kind of dingy looking anyway, but yep. This is more absorbent than any of the previous pads that I've used here. So that's important to bear in mind, that this synthetic fiber does not absorb so well. This is also a synthetic blend, which also isn't as absorbent. This is more absorbent, so it's going to draw more of the visible soils into it, of the emulsified soils. So anyway, I thought you might be interested to see this. Oh, I did bring one of these in, didn't I? Okay, one more thing. Let's try now that's the rayon one. Yeah, I'm gonna have to get it wet. It's almost dry now. It's drying pretty quick. So this ought to be interesting. This one actually does feel better than the rayon one. Has a little more solid feel to it, I think. Now this machine I could use quite comfortably all day long, because it really takes very little effort compared to a wheels up OP machine, whether it be a well, Challenger or an Oric. I've never used the Trinity's wheels up machine, so I can't speak to that. I know some guys really like them, but there's no obviously there's no weight on your arms with a machine like this. Boy, the pile in this carpet is really standing up rather nicely, but it'll flatten down real fast. A couple of spots over here that are completely gone, of course. Okay, let's have a look. Be interesting to see if it's anything visible on here now after all that I did there. Well. There is at least something there, definitely. Not dramatic, but definitely still something there. Anyway, I thought you might find this all interesting. Gotta fix that. Okay. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it, and have a good day.